Hi, I'm just going to talk to you really quickly about something we've added to the website that we've been working on for well over a year now, and it's called Camversation Learn. Camversation Learn, what is it and why have I spent absolutely ages building this with wonderful people? The reason I've built this is because lots of us on Camversation really enjoy workshops and series that last more than 1 or 2 sessions. And part of the problem with that can be that it can be a bit lumpy and a bit clumpy as to how I send resources to people, how we share content from those great workshops. So I've been working hard to think about a linear way of sharing this, something that you can basically start at the top of the screen and work your way down, so you haven't got to scrabble around with emails, remembering passwords and links and so on. This does away with all of that. I'm really quite excited about it. To kick us off, I've organised 2 people to start, and we've got Celia Henderson and Joe Houghton. Celia is going to run a new series called See, Take and Make, and Joe is going to run a huge 6-month-long Lightroom step-by-step series with us. So they're going to be the same price as always. It's going to be £5 per session. That's not going to change. But the content and the way it's delivered is really, really simple now. So I'm going to click on View Details on Joe's Lightroom just to show you what this looks like. So it's quite different. You don't have to book those, in this case, 20 individual sessions. That would be really, really difficult. So instead, you pay a one-off fee and you get access to all of the course content. And on the left-hand side, you can see when all of this course is going to happen. It's got individualized dates on there, it's got the titles of those sessions and so on. And I'm just going to pick one of those at random, so I'll just pick session number 13. And this is where the interesting things are going to happen. So on each of these steps, you're going to have all of that session's content available to you, including any example images, any linked resources, but also this is where you're going to access the live content. So you've got to click here to access live session on every single one of these steps. So what happens if you join and you've missed the first 3 or 4 sessions? Well, it doesn't really matter either, because as soon as you join, you get all the access to the previous content as well in exactly the same way. So you can go back and say, well, actually, I've missed number 2, which is organizing Lightroom. And instead of saying click here to access the live session, you'll actually have the recording directly on the screen. You won't have to log in. You won't have to go back through all those emails and all those searches to find it. It will be there. And what happens if you think, well, actually, I'd like to come back to this in 3 or 4 weeks' time. How do I find Camversation Learn? Well, you've got Learn with Camversation on the top right-hand side. But equally, if you click next to your name and you move down, there's an option that says Camversation Learn. And if you click there, that will then show you everything that you've engaged with, everything that you've enrolled on with Camversation Learn. So if you're doing a session with Joe, that'll be there. If you're doing a session with Celia, that'll be there. If you're doing a session with any of the 4 or 5 other people whose content I will add, that will all be there as well. You don't have to worry about passwords, and you don't have to worry about finding things, losing emails. It's all going to be under this Learn with Camversation. And I'm hoping we can really roll this out so that it makes all of this content so much easier, not only to engage with in the first place, but to go back and find when you need to. You're not going to be able to lose anything. It's all going to be in one place. And I think that is what makes this really exciting.